Ever feel like you're drowning in tasks and procrastination is your best friend? What if I told you there's a way to leap over procrastination and achieve your wildest goals? That you could smash your daily goals and change your life? Stay tuned as we devour Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, bite by bite. But why are we eating a frog? It comes from Mark Twain suggesting that if you eat a frog first thing in the morning, it'll probably be the worst thing that you do that day, and therefore your day can only get better. And if you're anything like us, you'll have a list of things that you need to do that you've been putting off because you just don't want to do them. So let's change that. The first step to take is to set the table, aka clarify your goals and write them down. Don't overthink it. It's as simple as just asking yourself, what do I want to achieve today? Without it, it's like jumping in your car and heading to a beach on the other side of the country. You know the vague direction you want to go, but you don't know exactly how to get there. You'll also find you'll be better at reaching those goals because you've made a commitment to yourself. And the clarity you gain from knowing where you're going makes it easier to break everything down into manageable tasks. But when should you set the table? The night before you go to bed. What's better than a to-do list of what you want to achieve? A planned to-do list. You're giving yourself a head start, and it gives you control. You'll go to sleep feeling prepared for the day ahead. Again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be as simple as writing it down on a pad or using notes on your phone. It's about making it as easy for you as possible. Now you've got your goals and a to-do list, it's time to apply the 80-20 rule, which you may have heard called the Pareto Principe. This essentially means that 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. It's about working smarter, not harder. Don't waste your time focusing on the activities that give you nothing. The more impact a certain task will have, the higher on your to-do list it should be. Now remember, every action or inaction has consequences. By deciding to do one task ahead of another will cause a ripple into your future. You've got to consider the consequences of every action or inaction. It may seem like a big thing, but coupled with choosing what will have the biggest impact will make this easier. You'll naturally end up prioritizing tasks that have a long-term impact, and you'll get into the habit of thinking beyond the immediate outcome. Let's take something simple. Let's say you keep meaning to book your car into the garage for a once-over. Now, this may not seem very important on the face of it, but think long-term. If you don't book it in and it has a problem you don't know about, what impact would it have on you if your car broke down and was out of action when you really needed it? The alternative is you make the call, get it booked in, and the problem gets found and sorted with minimal downtime. Which consequence is better for you long-term? Booking your car in today. If it's better for you that you're without a car for 3 hours compared to 3 weeks, then the impact on your life is clear. This goes for anything you've been putting off. Always ask, if I don't do this, what's the worst that could happen? All of a sudden you'll be doing these tasks the moment they need to be done. This isn't to say that all procrastination is bad. It's not. After all, it's physically impossible to do everything and be productive every minute of the day. It's perfectly fine to put off low-importance, low-impact tasks for another day. It's about strategically allocating your time and using it wisely on tasks that do have a greater value. Remember, it's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. And a way to discover what matters and prioritize is to use the ABCDE method. This means you look at every task and give them a grade, with A being the most important to E, which is the least important. As we said previously, A grades should be given to those tasks which have the most impact. If, after all of this, you're feeling overwhelmed, then apply the law of 3. If your to-do list is 20 items long, use what you've learned so far to identify the 3 tasks which contribute the most to your goals and focus on those. This will help you feel like you've made significant progress on your list and leave you feeling positive about the rest of your tasks. So now you know which tasks you're doing first, let's look at the tasks themselves. The first question you need to ask yourself is, am I prepared? Do you have everything you need to do those tasks? If you're thoroughly prepared, it's much easier to get in a flow state and not be tempted by distractions. Think of it like how a chef prepares food on TV. Very rarely do they have to prepare ingredients during the time slot they have. Instead, the ingredients are prepped ahead of time, meaning they can just get on with the cooking of the food. In the same way, break your tasks down into bite-sized steps. It's like the saying, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Write down every step that you need to take to complete that task. This will allow you to work methodically and reduce that overwhelmed feeling when first faced with complex tasks that will take a lot of time and energy. Avoiding procrastination isn't just about the tasks themselves, though. It's also dependent on your mindset and maximizing your potential each day. For example, the better you are at something, the easier it will be for you, meaning the quicker you can do something. If you can continuously improve the skills that you use on a daily basis, you'll notice that you'll make massive steps towards achieving your goals. For the same reasons, ask yourself what you're really good at. What is your special talent? If you can leverage this as part of your to-do list, then you'll be playing to your strengths and maximizing the impact that you make every day. You also need to have a very honest conversation with yourself. What's holding you back? What constraints do you have that stop you from getting your head down and getting on with it? Without understanding the reasons why, all the tips in the world won't allow you to become more productive. When you understand the answers, you dramatically speed up your journey to success. It could be something as simple as not aligning your day to your peak times. Are you an early bird or a night owl? If you're a night owl trying to do your best work first thing in the morning, you'll be holding yourself back. That's not to say you can't do anything first thing in the morning, but it's about matching your high-impact tasks to the times when your energy is at its highest. Or is it that you haven't put enough pressure on yourself with tight deadlines? Maybe the personal motivation isn't there, so you have no desired outcome to complete it. Identifying exactly what is holding you back can change everything for you. The final piece of advice is to ignore everything you've ever been told about how multitasking is good. It's not. Focus on one task at a time and don't move on until you've completed it or reached a point where you physically can't do anymore. And there you have it, a bite-sized guide to eating your biggest frogs and leaping ahead in life and work. Implement these strategies and watch how quickly your productivity and your results transform. Until next time, remember, if you want to fly, you've got to give up the things that weigh you down. Start eating those frogs one bite at a time. Until next time.